Okay. 1, 2. What comes? 3. Every mountain has a name, even if it's just a hill. Every holler is a home to someone's weary soul. I've got a song, you've got a song, and there's one thing that's for sure: this life on earth don't last too long. So I guess we'd better sing. Come on down to Hindman Town, pull up a chair, put her there. If you got a thing to share, we're gonna pass it all around. It's supper time, sit down. We got soup, beans, tomatoes, and roasting ears. A fellow who can whistle out of both his ears. A mandolin, a banjo, a $40 bass. The dog's gonna stand up and lick you in the face. Coffee maker makes, get yourself a piece of cake. We're gonna dance around the kitchen till the whole house shakes. When your belly gets full, as it's ever gonna be, we got a jar of something more in a hole in a tree. Got 49 songs nobody ever heard. Half a dozen cousins gonna sing them like a bird. Ain't no one coming out, no one coming in. Cows coming home, we're gonna run them off again. We got 4 pretty sisters putting out plates. Bubba's on the trash can smoking like a freight. 3 young uncles on the porch playing cards. 14 youngins and cussing in the yard. Daddy's on the mountain, he ain't coming down, cause Mama took his fiddle and she threw it on the ground. And now it's supper time. It's supper time. It's supper time. Sit down. Yes, it's supper time. It's supper time. It's supper time. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Knott Downtown Radio Hour special Dulcimer edition visit from Don Pedi. Little bit of a different one. We haven't done a Knott Downtown Radio Hour in quite a while, and this is a real privilege because this one goes out to our friends on YouTube and over there at PBS Craft in America. We're really having a great time with Don in town and our friends here, and we wanted to share with you a little bit about us and what we're doing these days, and the Troublesome Creek Stringed Instrument Company. We're playing Troublesome Creek Stringed Instruments here. We have a guitar and a mandolin today, or a dulcimer. What do they call that? A dulcimer.
A dulcimer.
That's a dulcimer. I knew that had a familiar name. It's in all seriousness, we have a lot of wonderful instruments that are coming out over at the factory, and Don plays one of them very well. And you ever thought about picking up the guitar?
I took a lesson once.
You took one lesson?
Yeah, I can still do it.
You can still do it?
I can still play Tom Dooley just like that.
Tom Dooley. I remember that song.
Dun, dun. That was back in like 1966.
You want to hear what I wrote about the dulcimer?
Sure.
And listen to this. This is true. This is true. This is the truth. I'm not making this up. O gentle soul of the mountains, wash me with your sweet voice. The garlands of mist about my head, that I may once more sleep. Beneath the quilt of these million trees, pour your heart into mine, and safe from the blistering world of care, abide and softly drink. My grandpa Boggs used to call these dulcimers. I didn't realize back then what the dulcimer was. You know, they had been in the family here in Kentucky as far back as the 1830s, but they didn't have one at Grandpa's house. And I didn't really ever hear of them at all, or play one, until I met up with Homer Ledford around 1970. And since then, you know, we've learned a little bit more about them. And now what we do here is we make the Thomas dulcimer as close as we can.
Yeah.
a very close replica to what was made here 150 years ago.
Yeah, and they are
This year.
beautiful.
Well, they really work when there's somebody that knows how to play one. And with that, I'm just going to put this down for a second and let you
Oh, you want me to play
share
something?
something with us. Yeah.
Well, all right. I just got this in today, and I just love the sound. I'm in love with the
It
sound.
was
of
a bribe.
Let's see. Here, I'll play this little tune, The Rose in the Mountain. It's one I just like. It's one my wife likes. Come from John Salyer from over in Salyersville, Kentucky. Them old traditional tunes.
Oh, man.
Just one of the many I learned from my friend Bruce Green.
How's Bruce doing?
He's good. He's staying home since this, COVID stuff. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. We're socially distanced.
Socially distanced, and his mother's living with him now. So we've been going out and visiting once a week or so. Finally playing some tunes that ain't on the Zoom.
Tunes that ain't on the Zoom.
Tunes that ain't on the Zoom. So we get to play a few tunes once in a while. Pretty much fun.
Well, you making that one sound extra sweet. I think it sounds sweeter than your other one.
I like it. Yeah, this butternut wood.
Butternut.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, it's beautiful. This is a beautiful Dulcimer. I'm in love.
Oh, all right. Glad we could hook you up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm just listening to it while we talk.
All right. Well, please.
Well, maybe I'll do a little bit of a.
You sure it's got enough frets in it now?
It does. It has all the frets it needs.
By the way, Dulcimer players are really something. They all want a different fret. They want a 1.5. They want a 6.5. They want a 10.5. Sometimes just a 10. It doesn't matter who you send this Dulcimer to. When they start playing it, they're going to look at it and go, "Well, now wait a minute. I want this fret here."
Well, I like the ones that just have the diatonic.
Yeah.
They're good, but for certain tunes, especially a lot of these old fiddle tunes, there's one of the two of these extra frets helps.
So, would you have an example?
Oh yeah, I could do something. Show you just what I need to put in a different tuning.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
We're not exactly racing the clock, so you could tune it up whenever we play something. You could tune it. Retune.
Okay. Yeah. So Usually it would be in this configuration. Now we were just in DAD for the Dulcimer players. We were in DAD and the scale started open. And with that 6.5 fret, you get that. But now I'm in DGD, key of G, and that's our scale. But with this scale, now I've got this note. So now I can play some of them really old modally tunes.
Okay. Such as?
Let's see, let me do this one. It just came to me today on the drive up here.
Okay.
That's another Kentucky tune. Pick a little cotton and spin some too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man.
My goodness.
You got another tune on the guitar? Or
I can sit and play them all day. What should we do next? Should you think you want to get back into the tune with the D here? We can.
I think it's close.
Well, close is good enough, right? Is that our D?
I think so, yeah. I get used to this little tuner thing.
Yeah, I've got one of those on my phone too, and you know what? I'll go all around the room looking for a little tuner, and have that phone in my pocket. I won't even think about it.
Actually, this is actually just the tuner.
Oh, that's a tuner. That's not your phone.
Not even a phone.
Oh my gosh.
No. I'm getting used to these. When the Dulcimer's new like this, it's easy to whack them.
Yeah. Brand new strings too, right?
Yeah, I got one of them tuners that clips on, but I don't like to put that up here, so I bring that flat one.
You know, I was in Nashville not too long ago. Well, it was before the pandemic, so it must have been about 100 years ago. But I was at my son's house there in Nolensville, where he was living at the time, and I woke up one Sunday morning from this vivid dream, and I grabbed a yellow pad and coffee, as soon as I had a cup of coffee. And I started writing this song because, you ever have one of those dreams that just knocks you out of bed? Anyway, it goes like this. Well, last night I had a dream, woke me up so hard. I found myself out standing barefoot in our old front yard. We were on the road in my old 55. I was 26, and you were still alive. Wish that I knew then the things that I knew now. I would turn you back, but I did not know how to make you hear my plea to go another way, so I could have you here, we could have today. You know that time is a liar, tries to tell your heart that it's not on fire, until a dream is the only way to make it even one another day. The grass is wet with dew, cold upon my skin. I tried to call you back, bring you back again. Down behind the trees, the morning sun cuts through, burning back the fog, but I'm still keeping hold of you. You know that time is a liar, tries to tell your heart that it's not on fire, until a dream is the only way to make it even one another day. The years have built us up, years have worn me down. I owe you what I am, I wish you were around. Down behind the tree, the morning sun cuts through, burning back the fog, but I'm still keeping hold of you.
So beautiful.
That's well.
It is. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's hard to play when you're
you're
listening to
listening.
the words. You know, I just want to hear it.
It's also hard to play when you're not listening. You're just kind of singing and thinking, "Oh wow, I just remember that." And it's like, "Well, no, wait, play."
Yeah, it's so. What a beautiful song. It's interesting. I just living up on that mountain. I just never get out much. And boy, back in the '60s, early '70s, that's the kind of music I'd be playing a lot of.
So you're saying, you call me a throwback, that's what you're saying.
You're just old, son.
No. Old is good, you know.
No, it's all good. I mean, I remember, boy, I had just a lot of friends that was the music, that style of music.
Oh, yeah. Well,
back old, Townes Van Zandt, Jerry Jeff Walker, those days.
Well, thank you. I'll take that.
That was some good stuff, that feel.
We ought to do a set of that stuff.
If I could remember any of it.
I remember way too much of it.
Yeah, boy, that was a long while back.
I could make my wife yell at me in a heartbeat.
Oh, boy.
Man, that got me thinking about those guys.
Yeah, well, that's what you put me in mind of. It's lovely, yeah.
Thank you. You throw me something here. Let me think about what we can dazzle with them next.
Okay. How about a little song from old Bascom Lamar Lunsford?
Oh, yeah.
He's from down around. Well, he was born in Mars Hill, I live in Grapevine, which is between. Well, my mailing address is Marshall, and my telephone number is Mars Hill, so it's just one of those places.
Right.
But Bascom was born at Mars Hill, but lived over in South Turkey Creek in Buncombe County, and he was a big collector of music. Yeah, really. And started the Mountain Dance Folk Festival. He did a bunch of stuff, but he knew his parent. He was born in 1882, died in 1974. And he got a lot of his tunes from his parents and grandparents.
So you must have just barely got to know him then.
I met him in 1974, a couple of months before he died. He took a stroke. He was in a wheelchair.
Oh, my.
But I got to teach some classes at the College for Seniors with his youngest daughter, who was in her 80s at the time. Anyway, and she was a real good person too, Jo Heron. She was pretty all right. We enjoyed that. But Bascom is a big influence, a lot of his stuff. So this is a little song. I'll do this little song of his. He had a bunch of great things. This one, he called it Old Smokey.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't what you think. It ain't on top of Old Smokey. In fact, there ain't no Old Smokey to it. But the chorus is really, I'm going back to Georgie. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing?
I'm going back to Georgie. I'm going to Rome. Going back to Georgie for to make that my home. Young ladies, take a warning by me. Don't place your affection on a green growing tree. I'm going back to Georgie. I'm going to Rome. Going back to Georgie for to make that my home. My father's a drunkard. My mother, she's dead. My sweetheart's a little gambler, and I wished I were dead. I'm going back to Georgie. I'm going to Rome. Going back to Georgie for to make that my home. They'll hug you, they'll kiss you, they'll tell you more lies than the cross ties on the railroad or the stars in the skies. I'm going back to Georgie, I'm going to Rome, going back to Georgie for to make that my home. The cuckoo's a pretty bird, she sings as she flies, brings me good news and she tells me no lies. She feeds on the flowers for to make her voice clear, and never sings cuckoo till the spring of the year. I'm going back to Georgie, I'm going to Rome, going back to Georgie for to make that my home. Gonna build me a cabin on a mountain so high, so the wildcats and the hoot owls can hear my sad cry. I'm going back to Georgie, I'm going to Rome, going back to Georgie for to make that my home.
That's great.
Kind of a compilation song, isn't it?
Yeah, and wouldn't you like to just get him aside and say, why did you name that old? Why do you call it Old Smokey?
Why would you call it Old Smokey?
Unless that just happens to be the.
Well, he did a version of On Top of Old Smokey.
Yeah, but.
But nope, I don't know why he would call it that.
Mysteries lost to time.
I don't. On the other hand, Bascom had to this day, as far as I know, has the largest memory collection recorded for the Library of Congress.
Really?
Something like 350 songs.
From memory.
From memory. He just sat there for a week and just played as much as he could remember.
Well, I bet you could do that. You know who else could do that? Randy Wilson. Randy.
Oh gosh, yeah, Randy has a
Randy's amazing. Randy Moore. You could. What I learned a long time ago, if you have a Christmas party where there's music played, just invite Randy with the guitar.
Oh yeah.
And he knows 1,000 Christmas songs.
Oh yeah.
And half of them at least have not been heard in the 20th century.
I know.
He's just amazing that way.
Absolutely. But when you think on it, the difference between, I know lots of, hundreds of songs and stuff, but in Bascom's day, they didn't have the recordings like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Those songs were all made from memory by going around and learning them by ear from people. It's kind of interesting. They had tape recorders, but it wasn't like they could get in the car and pop on, like a CD and get, they wouldn't think to be listening to that tape recorder while you're doing the dishes or something.
Right. No, they were dangerous back then because they ran on steam,
Right.
So it's just like,
you could burn yourself on one.
Well, so what else do you have in that tuning?
Oh, I don't know. There's lots of things here.
You know what I thought when you were talking about Bascom Lunsford? I thought you were going to do another song.
What would it be?
Well, I'm not going to say. Because if I tell you, it may not be a Bascom Lunsford song.
Oh, okay.
It's never mind. Scratch that. That never happened. It is.
Well, I don't know about this key for singing, but we could do that Mole in the Ground. That's another Bascom song.
Well, let me see if I can play with you.
That'd be easy enough, I think.
Do you think I can keep up on that?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. Well, I wished I was a mole in the ground. I wished I was a mole in the ground. If I was a mole in the ground, I could root this mountain down. Wished I was a mole in the ground. Tempe wants a $9 shawl. Tempe wants a $9 shawl. When I come o'er the hill with a $40 bill, it's baby, where you been so long? Baby, where you been so long? Baby, where you been so long? Well, I've been in the bend with the ruffling rowdy men. Just might go back again. Well, I don't like a railroad man. I don't like a railroad man. 'Cause a railroad man, he will kill you if he can. Drink up your blood like wine. Wish I was a lizard in the spring. I wished I was a lizard in the spring. If I was a lizard in the spring, I could hear my darling sing. Wished I was a lizard in the spring.
You got the best songs.
Yeah.
Oh, way.
Well, that one, Bascom has his own verses. There's other versions of that.
Yeah, well, that one, I could see where that one might get you a little bit. I mean, some circles, they might, a little risque in there a little bit.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, but no. and you stopped?
I know. I controlled myself.
You did. That was very genteel, but yeah, I don't know. The Dulcimer had kind of a reputation around here for a while.
Oh yeah,
as being a devilish thing.
The Dulcimer.
The Dulcimer, yeah.
Oh yeah. See now, North Carolina was the opposite kind of.
Oh really? That was the genteel instrument. In North Carolina.
That was. Yeah.
I remember I heard one of the Ambergers talking about the Dulcimer and having a Thomas Dulcimer up in the attic of that cabin out there at Big Doubles, but it had come apart in the attic.
Right.
Somebody had stuck it up there, and it was described as a bundle of Dulcimer sticks. That was just sort of all just bunched together, and it just completely come apart. And as a boy, he had talked about wanting to rebuild it, and he'd ask his dad, and he said, no. He said, you don't need to put that devilish thing back together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I thought to myself, there might be a story behind that somewhere. But
yeah, I wonder. I mean, now some of these churches didn't like any kind of music.
Well, that's
so
true.
That could be what it might have been, that they just didn't want any music other than, because you just don't know. There's different ones that have different rules about it.
That's true. That's true.
I met some people in Alabama that were really nice people.
Mutual friends of ours have been through all that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know exactly right.
The old regular Baptists and some of those churches have a pretty strict policy.
I mean, special permission.
Yeah,
you'd have to get.
Exactly.
But these friends in Alabama, I never heard of this before. They could play any kind of music with you. They'll play anything. But if you play a sacred song, then they'll just sit and listen. They won't play.
Really?
On instruments, I guess, is what it is. They could only do sacred songs without instruments.
Just voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of that around, too.
Yeah. But, I mean, I've heard of people just not having music, but I never heard of people that could actually play music that was other than sacred and then stop. I never heard.
And then there are the guys, there's so many of them that can just play anything they want, any old honky-tonk thing, any place. But when you come in church, nothing but just the gospel.
Yeah.
And that's real common too.
Yeah.
That'll be a guidebook to keep musicians out of trouble.
I know.
In church.
Well.
By the way, this guitar that I'm playing is, guess the wood. Nobody can tell probably from just looking at it, but this is made out of black walnut. We make a lot of guitars over at Troublesome Creek out of black walnut, and dulcimers too, and mandolins. We don't have our mandolin player here today because he had to have a battery put in his car or something. I don't know, but this is what we call the sweet dread, because it's a dreadnought that's kind of in the middle, the sweet spot between like an OM, smaller size guitar, and a full-size dreadnought. And I don't know, I'm getting real comfortable with this little old guy here.
It's beautiful.
I might have to scuff that up a little bit so we get to keep it.
Don't worry about this one.
I won't never see that one again. Well, we've had a time in the past couple of years here in these United States of America. And I have a daughter who I give a shout out to, my wonderful Audra, and I have not seen her in, it'll be 2 years. It was 2 years this past February 15th. And, because we mutually quarantined, and she lives up in Ohio, and there's a long story there, but the short version is, our relationship was entirely on the phone. And, through the pandemic, it just seemed like we were on a very strange place, almost like we were in different planets.
Yeah.
And at one point, I thought it'd be a good idea to write a song about it. And the time we missed, seemed like 100 years anyway. And more about that later. But the song is called "Sailing Backward." Love you from way over here, where you can't even see me. I may as well be on the moon, or some guy on the TV. Well, half the world is falling through. Still can't help believing I have the chance to walk with you before it's time for leaving. Only give me back that 100 years, sail me 10 times backwards round the world. Before the breath came into you, you had to know you were my girl. Bless the souls who went to sea, to wake up somewhere stranded. Country boys a lot like me, don't know where they've landed. Times an ocean won't be crossed, take you where your dreams go. If what we found was never lost, then it's your dream if you say so. Only give me back that 100 years, sail me 10 times backwards round the world. Before the breath came into you, you had to know you were my girl. Once I dreamt a dream, I didn't know if it was real, but I looked around and there you were. These are the better days, this is a larger life, 'cause I have you. All your life and most of mine, telephone's been ringing. Picked it up and said hello, and I heard your mama singing. I reckon we can figure how to do this like we ought to. Waiting for the time to take this here message in a bottle. Only give me back that 100 years, take me 10 times backwards round the world. Before the breath came into you, you had to know you were my girl. Before the breath came into you, you had to know that you're my girl. guys.
Oh, boy.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. So what you got, Don?
Oh,
Have you wore out your new Dulcimer yet?
Oh gosh, I'm getting started.
Just warming it up. Who do you attribute that to?
I think I heard that from D. Hicks. Lived over in Tennessee on the Cumberland Plateau.
I see.
It's from.
Sounds like that may have informed some other music there along the line.
Yeah, there's a number of versions of In the Pines and
where the
sun never shines. Sure.
Maybe some Delta blues kind of stuff too.
Yeah, who knows what influenced what? They're so interesting when you think about that.
I guess that's always what you wonder is like, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Exactly.
I mean, all that stuff.
Well, and I always wondered about it. People think like with the fiddle tunes, they always say, "Oh well, this tune had its origins in the British Isles."
Mm-hmm.
And then come over here and got influenced with the African American rhythms and the Native American rhythms and
of course,
made the music different. But Alan Jabor, he was a folklorist guy. Anyway, he had a great point. He said, those ships went both ways.
I love that. That's a great. I love that concept. I think historians and musicologists always want to think of things as being a westward migration, like everything came here from the old country. But you're right, those ships went both ways. And it's like, yeah, sure, they came over and they shared this, and then they went back.
Right.
And they did a bunch of it over there. And like Jean Ritchie in Ireland.
That's right. That's exactly right.
The story that I'm thinking of where she went in search of the mountain Dulcimer.
She got that Fulbright.
The Fulbright scholarship. She went over there looking for the old folks, and she did find a lot of them, but over there they hadn't kept them alive.
Well, she was looking for the roots of the Dulcimer.
And the roots of the Dulcimer.
And they never had it. That's the only place in Europe that didn't have an instrument like this.
was Ireland.
Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, that whole area. Every
funny?
Place else has something like this. Even
but
France
you've also, I know you agree with you. Espouse the theory that folk instruments with a drone have a real commonality, and possibly one of the big appeals of the Dulcimer in the Scotch-Irish settled Appalachian region is the fact that you can play pipe music
Sure.
on a Dulcimer because of the fact that it had the melody string and it had the drones, which are always there.
Absolutely. That there was old man Albert Burnett, who was he's been dead a number of years, from over in Haywood County, North Carolina. Every time I'd see him, he had a few quotes that I always enjoyed. And after he turned 90, and he lived, I think he was 94 or 95 when he died. But every year I'd see him at a festival, he'd come up and say, "I bet you're surprised to see me still here." You know? So that was the one thing. But then in every year he'd always tell me.
Maybe we should pick up that open line.
he'd say, "Now, you know, they made them Dulcimers because they missed the sound of the bagpipe." And that's what he would tell me every time. That was his thing. Well, actually,
Well, that makes perfect. Yeah, go ahead. It makes perfect sense.
I don't know I can pull this off, but I'll give it a try.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a bagpipe tune I thought of as you mentioned that.
Holy moly!
I know.
It works every time.
Well, it's one of them Irish tunes. Yeah, so we'll go like this. Quick, it's a march, but I just was trying to remember it. I always play fast when I'm trying to remember.
Is that how it works? I always stop when I'm trying. What? But no, I mean you could hear of course it's sweeter than the pipes. To hear it on that Dulcimer. It's really sweet.
It's sweet on the Dulcimer.
So,
but of course they have those small pipes. You don't have to have them big Scottish pipes.
Yeah, that's something that really didn't translate to the frontier here. I mean, those pipes must have had a.
Well, they were persnickety. I mean, you needed equipment.
Keep them just to keep I know right. There's some wet moisture involved with keeping them working just right.
There was a lot of, I used to play with Pat Sky.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, we played together we were friends, but we played together for a few years, and he had those pipes, and he was always tinkering with them. I mean, he made pipes as well. Yeah. But they were very complex.
No pun intended, but that's a fiddly business making pipes.
Oh, I mean.
Yeah, and they have reeds that have to be.
They do, and he'd have to make his own reeds, and that would be an issue, I think.
Here, well, we're in frontier.
In frontier life,
17 and 1800s,
I think that it would be hard to come by all the materials to make that.
Hence the Dulcimer.
Hence the Dulcimer and the fiddle.
The fiddle.
They
Well, you can play a fiddle with a drum too. Can't you?
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's about all I can play on the fiddle. I can make it drum a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to do next. I don't want to do all slow and sad songs because that's mostly what we come up with down here.
It's the mountains.
It's the mountains. It's true. We, of course, we work with people in recovery in our.
That's right.
And our program here, the School of Luthiery. Sometimes they come under our programs. Sometimes we have songwriters in the recovery. Shock to all, but they write songs about their experiences. And we were doing at the local recovery center. We were doing shows on a regular basis, and like I said, pre-pandemic. And I decided to chip in with a song about the dangers of drinking moonshine, which is, of course, liquid folk art, as we say down here, and beloved by all and part of the culture and part of the history, but it's not part of a healthy lifestyle, in my opinion.
Nothing in excess.
Nothing. Oh my! Listen. Well, no, listen. So I wrote this song. I came back to tell you I was wrong. I came back, you were gone. Made up my mind to live another day. But night had blown my dreams away. Time in a lightning jar. When do I say when? Times when I go too far never seem to end. Love is the sweetest flavor, sipping from the top. Life is a harder savor, long as there's a drop. Take it all, you can have what's mine. All I've got, I put it on mine. All I want is a little bit more time. All you want is to put it all behind. Time in a lightning jar. When do I say when? Times when I go too far never seem to end. Love is the sweetest savor, sipping from the top. Life is a harder savor, long as there's a drop. I came back to tell you I was wrong. I came back, but you were gone. Okay, it's sad, but It's over, so that's good. Play something happy, Doc. You know a happy song, don't you? I do too, but I mean, you know what? Without the fiddle, banjo, and the bass, and
I know.
You know, it's like I can't take off and do that.
Yeah, you get more introspective.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's good. It's lovely.
We're gonna have another folk scare here if we're not careful.
Let's see. What could be a fun thing? I'm gonna tune again. Poor little turtle dove, sitting in the pine, wondering for his own true love. Why not me for mine, for mine? Why not me for mine? Ain't gonna marry in the spring of the year, gonna marry in the fall. I'm gonna marry a pretty little girl, wears a dollar shawl, a shawl, wears a dollar shawl. Ain't gonna marry in the fall of the year, gonna marry in the spring. I'm gonna marry a pretty little girl, wears a silver ring, wears a silver ring. Went up on the mountain, give my horn a blow. Way down in the valley, I heard that rooster crow, heard that rooster crow. Daddy had an old gray mare, rode her off to town, sold her for a new 10 cents, got a nickel down, got a nickel down. Went up on the mountain to get a turn of corn. Raccoon curled his tail around and the possum broke his horn, possum broke his horn. Hogs in the fence, corn feed 'em all. All I want is a pretty little girl to feed them when I'm gone, feed them when I'm gone. I'm kind of silly.
I'm amazed. You know, this is more than I've heard you sing in a while, too. You know.
Well,
as
usually
far as-
I just play tunes, you know,
Just
because
play
that's what
tunes.
people want to know. But,
Well, I mean, but no, it's great. I mean, I'm hearing all kinds of great,
oh yeah, I mean,
great lyrics.
there's lots of good old songs. You know.
You know, the one that I thought you were going to bust out with.
What's
here,
that?
Which it's kind of your trademark. You know, the one your legacy.
What is it? I got a legacy? Well, what could it be?
It's about a cat.
Oh! Well, sure.
Sure,
You
you
could
think
do that.
and that another sad song though. Actually, it's a tragedy.
It is tragic. It's. This is old Kitty Puss.
I think that is
That's
the
what
song
you're
I was
talking about is
I was
old
talking
Kitty
about
Puss.
Kitty Puss, yeah.
It's another Bascom Lunsford song.
That's one. It's when you said Bascom Lunsford earlier, I thought you were going to drag Kitty Puss out of the.
Well, Kitty Puss, you know, this is the one. Now, they've got versions of. Well, you know, Buddy Thomas, who lived up in, I guess, northeastern Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Great fiddle player. You know, just genius fiddler. He did a tune called Kitty Puss, but it ain't this Kitty Puss. It's Kitty Puss. Actually, I think it's more akin to a tune they call Tucker's Barn back home. But now I've heard
Makes perfect sense.
yes, exactly. But another over in the western part of the state, there's a Kitty Puss.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got a verse or two from over in there, in the western part of Kentucky. And then in Tennessee, there's a few different versions of Kitty Puss that I
Have
know.
you thought about like doing a whole side of a CD and just Kitty Pusses?
I have done a radio show with a half hour of kitty pusses.
somehow I knew. Somehow I knew.
But anyway, this one is the one that come from Bascom, and it's the only one I've heard that's not in the key of G.
Should I take my hat off for this?
For old Kitty Puss, poor little Kitty Puss.
Poor little.
Actually, I think that this was, I'm not sure, but I think that this was like a dance, like maybe a play party or something. It was like, there was a specific something that they did with this song. Because this is one that, if I remember correctly, Bascom, I have recordings of Bascom from a long time ago. And he said he learned this, he remembers this when he was 10 years old. So that would be from 1892. And so it must have been around longer than he was 10. But this one's in the key of D, but it ends on a G note, and that makes it really unique. It's
Oh, that's
kitty
great.
puss.
Well, I think we can end on a high note.
Okay.
With that.
Yeah.
If we want to call this a wrap and thank the wonderful people at PBS and our guys here,
oh yeah,
Curren and Brady, for helping us put this together, and we got Mikey Sloan, our tech on deck over here. As always, we thank our benefactors. We have, the Appalachian Regional Commission. We have the Appalachian Artisan Center. A lot of Appalachians. We're at the Appalachian School of Luthiery and our
right.
big, tall radio stage. And, of course, Troublesome Creek for the instruments.
Oh yeah, these wonderful instruments.
We have brought the instruments, and they are us, as we say, to paraphrase Pogo.
Yeah.
But want to thank y'all very much for bearing with us and listening through all this. Y'all,
thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Don, for coming up here all the way from North Carolina. It's still North Carolina.
Oh yeah. So as far as I know, I ain't been out in a while.
I believe so. I believe we're still
okay.
Things are laid out pretty much the same. So that's it, folks. Thank you.
Thanks. Alrighty then.